everyone, you're welcome back. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make the back of this dress. So let's get into it. I've already shared with you how you can make the front in the previous video, so please kindly check the video before you proceed. All right, so I'm going to be cutting out the back now. Then I'm going to be rolling my guideline, and also I'm going to be rolling my zip allowance. I'm going to be using 1.5 for my zip allowance. So the next thing now is to measure down the length of my armhole. My armhole, I'm using 9 for my armhole. And then my waist length. My waist length is 17, but because this is the back, I'm going to be using 16. So I'm subtracting 1 inch from my waist length. So I'm using 16 here, then with ½ inch seam allowance. Then I'm going to extend these lines. Then you want to do now is to go in here on your waistline by ½ inch, and then this is just to make the back to sit very well, and then you blend it upward this way. Then from this your line also go in by ½ inch. So this is your new zip allowance. So the next thing now is to input our measurement. So starting from here, I'm going to measure my shoulder divided by 2. My shoulder is 16 divided by 2, that will be 8 inches. I'll roll it straight to my chest line. Your armhole length is your chest line. Alright, so I'll measure 3 inches here. And then I'll come down by 1 inch from this shoulder tip. I'm going to connect it back together and add back my ½ inch seam allowance like this. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to input my bust circumference measurement on my chest line. My bust is 40 divided by 4, that will be 10. I'll input 10 inch. Then I'll add my seam allowance. I'm using 2 inches for my seam allowance at the back. Then on the waistline, I'm going to input my waist circumference measurement divided by 4. My waist circumference is 32 divided by 4, that will be 8 inches. Because I'm going to be putting that, I'm going to be inputting 1 inch for my dart and then 2 inches for my seam allowance. Then I'm going to connect it back this way. Then I'll finish this armhole part with my armhole cuff. Okay, so the back is ready, but we need to input our neck also. For the neck width, I'm going to be doing 4 inches because they need to correspond with the front. I use 4 in front, so I'm using 4 here. But your neck depth can be as low as you want it. So I'm going to be using 2 inches for my neck depth, 2 inches like this, and then I'm going to connect it back together this way. All right, so the next thing now is to input your dart. My nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches divided by 2, that will be 4. I'll mark it and I'll roll it up to my chest line. Then I'll measure 1 inch below this chest line. That is where my dart is going to stop. Then I'm going to measure ½ inch on both sides of the line for my dart intake. ½ inch and ½ inch. And then I'm going to connect it back this way. Can you see? But I would also like to have a yoke at the back. So from this 1 inch below the chest line, I would like it to be my yoke. So I'll just roll it this way. So this part here is going to be my yoke. So I'm going to be replacing it with the lace. Then I'll cut it out. So I'm going to be cutting this part out on my lace and then this part from my Ankara fabric. When cutting this yoke, I'm going to add ½ inch to this bottom part. My Ankara fabric is already folded into 2 and I've fused it with my stay also. So I'll place the lower part of my back on it and then I'm going to cut it out. Don't forget to notch your zip allowance and also your dart. Can you see? So I'm done cutting out my yoke. So this is my yoke. I've added ½ inch to the bottom part, and then this is the body. I've cut it exactly the same way. So this is the back. The first thing I'm going to do now is to sew in my dart. We already notch our darts, so just follow your notching. When you're done with your darts, the next thing now is to join the yoke to the body. So match them together right side to right side, and then you're going to stitch together with 1/4 inch allowance. So the next thing now is to turn with the lining. So you take the corresponding lining. So I'm done turning with lining, and this is how it looks. This is how it looks from the wrong side, and then this is the good side. So I'll repeat the same thing to the second side. So we are done with the two of them. So the next thing now is to join front and back together at the neckline. So we're going to be stopping here for today. Please kindly watch the previous tutorial on how I made the front part of this dress. The link will be in the description box. Please kindly subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.